Three sisters with stories to tell. Books in our hands, we know them well. Flipping pages where dreams dwell. Chapter one, here you go. Turn the light, let the words flow. Laughs and love in every show. Books, sweethearts, we grow.
So welcome back to Sister Chef Banter. We're starting part 2 of The Housemaid today, chapters 15 through 31. And we'll see. We thought yesterday's recording would go really quick. It did not. But maybe the next ones will. Who knows? Until we get into it. So
I mean, my theory is that we all just couldn't get over how nuts Nina is. So, but like, I swear, like it can't just be all her fault. He's involved somehow. I just don't know how.
do we want to try to rapid recap or just jump?
I could give the gist of it.
Is it nothing?
Yeah. So we met Millie, our main character. The book started with a murder in the attic, which we find out Millie gets a job with the Winchesters. Her boss, Nina, and Andrew. She's staying in the attic. So this is 3 months before this said murder. And she is gradually seeing that Nina is incredibly unstable. She's actually clinically insane from what we can grasp, is on a lot of meds for it. And she continues to do things like gaslighting Millie. Millie ended up watching TV on the couch with her husband because he joined her. And Nina was very upset and said she can't leave her room at night or use any of the family areas on her own. I guess I'm just really getting into Nina's crazy so far.
Yes. As well as Cecilia's either learned or genetic craziness.
Yeah, agreed. Creepy little porcelain doll child who makes stuff up like I'm allergic to peanut butter.
Yeah. It's just a rat.
Nature and nurture. It is always the dilemma.
All right. I guess we'll jump into the sister takes.
We left off after chapter 14. We're going to jump right into chapter 15. Nina is going to be hosting a PTA meeting in the backyard. Millie is assigned to helping her with setting up, grabbing things she needs for it. She's trying to like rush to finish cleaning the house and gets out there. She thinks she has time, but the patio furniture is disgusting. Andrew comes out and he helps her go get some hors d'oeuvres. She picks him up. He picks him up. She gets to clean the patio. Nina supposedly doesn't know anything. We found out then that Cecilia actually isn't genetically Andrew's child, which I'm pretty sure Nina presented her as before, like as our child. And he wants more kids. And that was pretty plain and simple. Like he told her he wants more kids. She knows that Nina wants to get pregnant, but really nothing has come of it so far.
You saying that out loud just gave me a whole thought that, like the single mom aspect, and it's commonly, I don't know if it's a cliche, but usually cliches are there for a reason, but like they're desperate to some extent and easily manipulated. I'm officially sold, like with you, the way you said it. Like I think he made her crazy.
We'll see.
I think he's the reason she's crazy.
Maybe. I do feel like there's definitely a genetic component though with daughter.
Yeah. But I have definitely toyed with the theory of he is like somehow making her take all of these meds that actually end up making her crazy.
That is also possible.
Who knows?
That's that proxy Munchausen.
But it's a little bit different, I think.
It is a little different, but similar.
Yeah.
Making somebody mentally ill instead of physically ill.
I mean, I feel like a lot of men must have that.
That's really all I had from that chapter.
Yeah.
I feel like the chapter started to get shorter.
Yeah.
Similar to the last book.
I was really happy when I was rapidly writing my recaps yesterday on my chapters that they were short. Okay. Into chapter 16, the PTA meeting is happening, and Nina makes Millie just kind of like stay there and be readily available to serve them. It's this group of vain women. Sorry, I don't know why I said women. They talk shit about Millie in front of her. Like, oh, it's so hard to find good help. These really should be warmed up. And Millie's just like, what the hell? And she says, Nina, do you want me to warm them up? You need to call me Mrs. Winchester. How informal. I'm not going to tell you again. I made a point last episode to say she told her to call her Nina. So she
Yeah.
turns on her hair. And so she's being a bitch. She excuses herself to go somewhere, and these ladies immediately go into gossip about her. They talk about her weight. Wait, did I miss something? No. They talk about her weight. They talk about how the fact that she doesn't have a prenup, but they don't understand how Andrew hasn't left her because he's super attractive. And then they bring up the fact that she has been to a mental institution. So now, not only Millie not only has like these, I think this lady's crazy. She's been institutionalized for it. So definitely more to take off. And I forgot to mention that Nina tells her friends that she and Andrew want to have another baby. And they're like, oh, you're pregnant. That makes sense why you ate so much food.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm not.
Did you say she doesn't have a prenup? I thought she did.
Oh, sorry.
I thought
Yes,
she
I'm
was like
sorry.
a
I had it wrong.
freebie.
Airtight prenup. She gets nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I
Man,
meant by it.
I was like for real about to have to go back on my last thought of like, oh, well, that can't be true if you didn't give her a prenup.
Yeah, no, sorry.
yeah.
Airtight prenup. So she
Okay.
gets nothing if they split up at all whatsoever.
Yeah. And then
And-
they make a point to be like, she's crazy for hiring a hot young nanny.
Mhm. And she's like, yeah, I mean, if Andrew was single, I'm not saying I wouldn't.
I
but
didn't
he
know.
has nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I have a note that says, danger, never allow sexy thoughts of a married man. Like, she's got to quit doing this. Like, I
She's
don't
not
feel
pregnant.
bad for her. She's making it hard to be like sympathetic toward her.
I'm just like not giving her an excuse, but I'm thinking of her like as an 18-year-old, not a 30-year-old.
She does have the experience and like maturity
Yeah.
level probably of that age.
Right. Like she's been like that. Her world basically stopped.
Okay. I'll give you that. That's fair.
Yeah. That life
That's cool.
experience not being existent is impactful for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have for chapter 16 then. And we can go right into the next one. Nina and Andrew have their fertility specialist appointment. While they're there, Cecilia comes in and is just like throwing her shoes everywhere, throwing stuff everywhere. She does this really weird thing, which I don't understand, where she asks for a bologna sandwich, but then she says, no, I want an abalone sandwich just to mess with Millie. So like either mom has her like trained to be psycho or Apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. Maybe
Yeah.
Cecilia's the main problem. Who knows? She's trying to deal with that. And that's when Andrew and Nina come in, and Nina looks like a hot mess. They both look upset. Nina explodes on Millie for asking if everything's okay, calling her nosy. It's none of her goddamn business. And bitches about the mess she has to come home to. And again, maybe you should start looking for another job. She throws that in her face again. And yeah, she just kind of like passive aggressive, don't do any work on my account. I'm going to go lay down, and leaves Andrew there. And he doesn't really seem like he wants to talk to us, but he talk about it. And he probably shouldn't have talked about it, but he said it's not going to happen for them, that Nina can't get pregnant. And they're both pretty hearted about it. It seems almost like that was what he was holding out for to stay in this relationship is potential that he's invested this much and he can have more kids. And he loves Cecilia like his own, but he says, I always dreamed of like having my own. And yeah, at the end, he's like, I want to cheer her up. Can you book this play that Nina really wants to see so we can, get her on the right track? And they're both going to do their best to try to make Nina happy.
Yeah. I don't have anything really to add.
Really don't either. I'm just thinking about all the rest of like what's coming up and like if I think about it from like it's his fault, like all the little nuances are like clicking into place like a 22 pin lock.
Some retrospect there.
Mm-hmm.
The next chapter starts with Millie waking up in the attic to screaming and shouting and then crashing. So she hesitates, but she's like, I'm going to go down there and see what's going on. She, of course, instead of immediately knocking, lingers outside the door for a moment, only for Nina to like rip the door open and be like, are you eavesdropping on us? And Millie's like, I don't see Andrew in there and I see some blood. Like, is Andrew good? Where is he? And
Yeah,
of course,
very
that's
bold.
no. Yeah, right. Like,
Very
you're gonna
bold.
call the crazy lady. You're gonna
Yeah.
insinuate that she'd hurt her husband.
Yeah, of
In
all
the
of the
middle of a full blown panic.
so far.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
the thing you want to test the boundaries on.
Move. And
Like she was in
again,
prison for a decade and didn't learn any self-preservation. Like, isn't that the first thing you learn?
did she never get shanked? That's a really good question. She tries to just explain to her, like, I heard the noises and I want to make sure everything was okay. Like, but no, she pissed her off with like, is Andrew okay? And all she really did hear was the faucet turning on. I don't think she got eyes on him. And then again, Nina tells her, stay up in the attic at night. Like, this is more of a like, you better do it. And she says, do you understand? She said, I never want to come out of the attic again.
I kept thinking after I read this, like, the next time, anytime she's like, oh, I'm going up to the attic, I'm like, it's going to be the last time she's going to lock your ass in there. Like, and
Yeah,
you're going to be like, but I
he's
don't
not
have a
going to do
key.
anything for you. And I doubt she got anybody to fix that window. Like she said, she would get somebody to look at it. Nope. Anything
That's
to
okay.
add? Linda's?
Mm-mm.
Nope. That was another short one. Okay. Yeah, a sticky note kind of pulled on my page a little bit. Okay. All right. So Nina goes back into like Stepford wife the next morning. Very calm, somewhat pleasant. She still has like her bloody bandage. I didn't mention that she cut her hand. That's why there was blood. So she seems frazzled. And when she gets back from taking Cecilia to school, Millie makes her some breakfast, a lot of breakfast apparently. Asks her to, when she's doing the breakfast, she says that Andrew wants to take her to Showdown on Broadway and what are some days that work for you? And in writing in quotations, Nina says, I'm free a week from Sunday if you can swing it. Okay. So she's good. She's going to book it a week from Sunday. Andrew comes down, so we know he's alive. And Millie is like fantasizing about Andrew at this point. She's moved on from like, I think he's attractive to fantasizing about him, which leads to her deciding to make a pass at Enzo. So I guess I got her juices flowing. Just thinking about Andrew. So she
Again,
invites
another
Enzo in.
bold.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and very strange. Plus, like,
Yeah, like you
he had
haven't
to,
had a conversation with this guy besides like him
Maybe
helping.
Andrew's breaking like the well that gives them water to the house. Maybe the whole place is frickin' drugged and they're all
that's
going
possible.
crazy.
But like, it's bold because I don't think we talked about it, but he was kind of mentioning things to her. They were kind of talking. There was a tattoo of a woman or something, and he says Antonia. So it's like, maybe that's his wife. She doesn't know. But she invites him in for a glass of water. I guess he carries something in for her too. Maybe that was that part. But she decides to try. He brings a package in. She gives him water. And she tries to seduce him. And he kind of panics and rejects her. He starts like yelling in Italian. And he tells Millie to get out. And he says, is dangerous.
Maybe
I
actually
just
realized that it is in the water in the house, and he's like, "I've seen this before. It's about to get bloody. You need to get."
I didn't actually ever Google what he yelled at her in Italian. I'm Googling it right now.
Okay. He says, SEI, say pazzo, che cavallo. That's all. You get out, Millie. It's dangerous. Yeah, but that was like, yeah. She's her mind's in the gutter though.
Absolutely.
He said the first part says you're crazy.
Say pazzo,
Yeah, let's see what the next part is. That was lovely. I love that.
che cavallo.
What the heck?
Okay. I'm going to say it says what the hell. And so what the heck sounds too straight laced for Enzo.
Oh, that's lovely. I love that even more now that he called her crazy.
But yeah. That's all I got though. That interaction lasted a little bit longer than I went through, but that was just that was the gist of it.
Oh.
She's like, maybe you want to take a little break, a little break. Get it?
Okay, I'm gonna build on my theory. Man, by the time this is over, if Andrew isn't the cause of this, like I'm so blindsided at this point. But so remember, Enzo's always around to the point where like it's kind of weird. And he just said, "You're crazy," because it's probably clear to outsiders looking in that, Andrew and Millie talk a little bit here and there, whatever. The gardener knows everything, even more than the maid these days. So what if he like has seen the pattern of Andrew getting with the help and he's like, "Are you crazy?" Like he would like beat my ass or he would kill me or whatever. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Like it was more like I'm afraid of them if I
Yeah.
were maybe. I think he's just like psychopath. I don't even know you.
Yeah.
And also this is dangerous. Like this is not no, we don't.
I'm just saying, man, I can't get past it now. That's all I can see until I see direct evidence otherwise. And I blame you, Christy. It was the way you phrased whatever you phrased.
I can't remember. All right. I think we're on to Hannah's.
Chapter 20. And let's see. So she's just been rejected. She goes to pick up. What was that?
I said quite spectacularly.
Yeah.
That
or
Were you
you eating?
This is the first time I took one.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. It was gargled. Anywho, she's at dance class to pick up Cecilia. She's kind of chit chatting with one of the other nannies who gives her some Advil. And she tells them who she works for, but she's getting the typical response like, "Ooh, how's that going?" So she takes opportunity, she's in a somewhat safer environment with talking to the help to kind of see and dig into Nina and her past. And she's just telling her she's crazy. Everyone knows. They have the feeling she's the jealous type. She goes into or tells her for the first time that she went to the loony bin, so that she has been committed at some point, and then tells her that essentially she tried to kill Cecilia or drown her Cecilia when she was a baby. And Andrew like hadn't heard from her in a while and like just called the cops to check on things, and that's how they found her. Drugged her, put her in the tub, and then she took a bunch of pills herself. So definitely sounds like some crazy postpartum mixed with her personality issues. And I think that's pretty much all that chapter talks about. Yeah.
She mentions that's the shift from her thinking, okay, Nina's just crazy to okay, she's has a history of violence. I wasn't worried about that before, and now I'm worried about it. Just a second. Can you guys do like unloading the dishwasher in there?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. He's like with all the silverware, ting, ting, ting.
Not like over the holidays. So when I was reading this, I don't know if you guys ever read the book about Andrea Yates. You guys remember the mom that drowned like all of her babies in the bathtub back in like I think it was like the 90s. Well, like about a quarter of the way through that book, I got the same feeling about her husband Randy as I am officially getting of Andrew. And I remember in this chapter thinking like, I wonder, it sounds a whole lot like the same situation. Like she had issues and he actually called, like, I haven't been able to get a hold of my wife. And they get there and it's like
Too late.
same scene, but it was too late.
Maybe
It was a very
Cecilia has brain damage from it.
No comment.
Chapter 21, we're talking about the package that Enzo had brought in earlier. It's this huge box that's just been sitting there. And he opens it. It's from his mom. And it's a bunch of baby stuff.
How about this?
Yeah. So he's, visibly upset. I think it's, just the next day. So they just found out the day before that they're not having any children. So Nina or Millie's kind of consoling him, if you will. And as far as that, it's really just them talking about their relationship with Nina or Andrew's relationship with Nina. that, he does say loved her instead of love, which he does correct himself, but we get a little glimpse of the falterings there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
He mentions that like his mother used to send a lot of care packages back when Nina was sick. So we get a little
Yeah.
bit more like he brought it up, and that we find out that Nina's parents are gone and died when she was young. So what happened there?
yeah. Well, and interesting too that this would have been very early in their relationship because Cecilia's not his. So was it her getting into a relationship with him and then she went crazy and was trying to kill her way out of it? Or is it just bad timing and he somehow decided that he should stick around? And so I don't
Sorry, I
know.
felt like my back or something, so I'm like really twitchy and moving a lot.
Yeah. And then did they tell us how long they knew each other before they got married?
No, I don't think we know that. Or how long
No.
they've been married for.
Like, were they married before she was institutionalized? Because then they would have gotten married like pretty immediately upon meeting if, again, Cecilia's not his and she was there during, or if he was there during all of that.
Well, we get
Maybe
a
she met her
little
when
bit
she
more
was
detail.
pregnant.
Maybe the scratches
No, I
are.
feel like, oh, that's
I
dark.
like that theory.
I do like that.
It
But
did cross my
later
mind.
when they talk about it, it never crossed my mind. I do like that theory though,
I missed it.
because that's the creepo.
The scratches
But
are.
Oh,
And now she's become the abuser.
that's actually pretty typical. Dang it. What was I going to say?
Hey, 22?
Yep. No,
I don't know about you, but I'm
I just thought you weren't finished. Like the
Okay.
last little piece of this chapter,
okay.
Go for it.
when she grabs and squeezes his hand, and then they have just like this
Yeah.
super electric. She's never felt this before. And I look up at Andrew's brown eyes and I can tell he feels it too. For a moment, we just stare at each other, drawn together by some invisible, indescribable connection. Then his face turns red. No, ma'am.
He
Like,
had zapper on his hand.
I can see him going like, I gotta go.
Like one of those things inside his hand, his finger.
yes.
Did you feel that? That was a spark.
Then like, okay, I get sometimes you cannot help who you're attracted to. Like, there's a component in there that none of us can really help. And I get sometimes that you just like take baby steps in the wrong direction, not realizing it, and then all of a sudden you're at the bottom of the hill. However, this man jumps up from the table and darts out of the dining room. But then, just before disappearing upstairs, he gives me one last long, lingering look. Like he knew better. He knew better. And she is eating it up.
She
Yeah.
literally has nothing else going on for her at all in her
No.
life besides this.
Yeah.
So, like, I get, like, she's like, oh my God, it's so
Yeah.
spicy. He loves me. I've
And
been in
again,
jail
if
for
you
10 years.
think about it from an 18-year-old's perspective, it's like, oh, this is what the movies are about.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you can go to 22.
22. See, it's been a week. She's been actively avoiding Andrew.
Kudos.
He's in the kitchen. Nina asks her about those tickets to the Broadway show. And she's like, yeah, I did get it with the hotel room. And then she reconfirms the date. Nina starts freaking out. She's like, I'm busy this Sunday. I have to take Cece to camp. And I told you next Sunday. She's like, no, you told me 2 weeks ago, last week. And she's just, being typical Nina. Like, this is, unacceptable. She's like, you need to go get a refund or this is coming out of your paycheck. And she's like, oh my God, this was me like a month's worth, if not more. So then Millie's freaking out and Andrew kind of steps in to try to diffuse this topic. And he's like, I'll call the credit card company. Don't worry about it. And Nina's like, fine, but still, if he can't figure it out, you're paying for it.
The interaction's crazy to me, though. She's like, I told you to book it a week from Sunday. She's like, you did a week ago.
Yeah.
So you're admitting that I told you to book it a week from Sunday, but you still booked it for this Sunday. Yes, bitch. But you told me that a week ago.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like even her rebuttals, like she's so like convicted in them and they are so off the wall.
Nuts.
Nuts.
Like, does she think she told her that yesterday?
Nuts. Well, and that's the whole thing. It's like,
Maybe.
not that I empathize with her, but it is like, okay, something's wrong with you.
And is it intentional that she's doing
Things.
these crazy things, or is it just that she's crazy? Like, is she doing this kind of thing to
Yeah.
mess with Melly? Because that's what it seems like, but maybe she's just psycho.
I think it's both.
It's a deja
Honestly.
vu.
I think there's a lot of things she's doing intentional, but it's like this type of response, right? Where it's like, that was off the cuff, where she's just like, so you admit it? So you admit that's what I told you to do and you still fucked it up? It's like, did you not just hear the whole thing?
Do you hear the words that are coming out of your own mouth?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's literally like my biggest fear in life is being that out of it and everyone just going about, okay, that's just Nina.
Because Andrew didn't say anything about it. Like, Nina,
Yeah.
you've done stuff like this before. You probably did tell her the wrong thing. It was just like, hey, don't get so upset. Yeah, she
Yeah.
screwed up. I'll fix it with my money.
Yeah, wild.
But to your earlier point, Hannah, I will never let you become Nina and just stand there.
Well, I
See?
would never get to that point, but I just mean
Don't
that's
treat
an
yourself like that.
extreme version.
Cosmos is bitter sometimes.
Oh my gosh. And so chapter 23, we're jumping into packing up Nina's car to take Cecilia to camp. Nina's just like, be careful with that. They're like, don't just throw it around. And then Andrew says that he was able to get a refund as well. So that whole beef with Nina had been squashed. And then he's not going because he says he has to work. And she's like, you always put work first, blah, blah, blah. Millie's excited that she gets 2 whole weeks without the little monster, is how she puts it. But instead, she tells Nina, she's like, I'll be sad when Cecilia, without her here for this month. And she goes, really? She says dryly, I thought you couldn't stand her. So,
Well, yeah, I can't. But I can't say that.
Not
Like,
that
you
crazy
set that up
after
now.
all.
Yeah.
It's official. Like with that statement alone, we all know she's faking it. Like she's not
Yeah.
crazy.
She's like, does she know I don't like her either?
Right. Exactly.
Probably.
So yeah, then it's just Andrew and Melly. So my, what kind of trouble can they get into?
And she's already eye fucking him before Nina's even pulled out of the driveway.
Yeah, literally. So Andrew tells her that he lied, he wasn't able to get a refund, and gives the tickets to Millie. He's like, go, to the show, take a friend, whatever. And she's like, I don't have any friends. I've never been to the show, blah, blah, blah. And then they decide they'll go together. And so they go change, and she gets dressed and no, she's just romanticizing about spending the night with Andrew in Manhattan.
She's a little off too. Like, when he says he has a confession, she's like, a confession. I'm madly in love with you. I'm going to leave Nina so we can run off together to Aruba. Like,
And again, it's
girl.
these comments that keep like pounding the like, okay, this girl is like not mature.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
She
She
is
does
in
not have
like
a
a fantasy mindset.
Maybe it's escapism for her because her life is miserable. Who knows? But it's not right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, how did this even come up as an option? Like, wild.
Because he wanted it to, obviously.
Well, obviously.
I don't
But-
know. I think if you take out the weird things she's saying in her head and stuff, and then like, to me, it's not that weird. I don't know. It's just going to a show. Like, okay, then getting drunk together and going to dinner and staying at the hotel, that part's weird, but that comes later. But like, I don't know. I just don't like, she didn't have any friends, but she wants to go, and he's like, okay, I'll take you. Like, it's weird, but thinking of it in the concept of like, he planned for this to happen, but he doesn't say like, hey, want to go with me? He's like, here are 2 tickets. You go do that. She's like, I would love to go, but I don't have anyone to go with me.
No,
Right.
so
And he
that
didn't
part,
skip out on the opportunity more so. Sorry, Ashley. Go ahead.
right. No, that up until that point it's fine. Except that the author's already led us down the path of he's clearly like at least attracted to her
Yeah.
with the last chapter. if anything, he ought to know better. But even if she has the mentality of an 18-year-old and that is her level of maturity, are you telling me you guys didn't know better at 18 to not be like having the
Well, and
hots for the married man?
I mean, she's saying, she's like, I don't know that we should be doing this. Like, she definitely
It's like, it'll
sees
be fine.
the risk of it for sure. But
So
I would say
yes,
till like the next chapter or two, to me, Andrew doesn't come off across like he's trying to end up in the same rooms as her
Yeah.
or like trying to like make these moments happen.
or he's just that good.
And that could be the case. But if you're reading it without that in your head, to me it doesn't sound that crazy.
I just feel like it's just so weird how he's just so oblivious, knowing his wife is literally cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over here
That's where
and on
my
antipsychotics.
Yeah. That part definitely.
Like he might
they
not be
both
looking
know that
to
Nina would
create
not
a
be cool with it.
situation. Yeah,
Like,
and
that
she
is
even
the main
points
thing.
out
Like,
like
she would
Nina
lose her
would
mind.
not like it. Yeah, and he's still like, "Oh, no big deal." Like, how callous could you be? Like, either you love her regardless of the fact that she's cuckoo, or something else is going on here,
No,
or
for
you're
sure.
just a grade A,
But it's
you know,
like the whole
ex-man.
conversation about the TV kind of is like their personalities in one event where they're watching TV and he's like, to Millie, what? Yeah, watch TV anytime. This is your home too, blah, blah, blah. Then Nina comes down and she's like, don't ever watch TV in here. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, it is like he's surprised by her reaction somehow, which is weird, but that like he has the right thoughts. So he's a very confusing character to me so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
I mean, initially he comes off like he does, but he also like doesn't fully commit either to standing up one way or the other.
Oh,
He's
right.
just like he just
But if
lets
you
it
go
go and
the
then is
route
like,
that he's being abused, maybe. You never,
yeah.
I mean, this could go
I
a
mean,
lot of different
it's
ways
true.
still.
It
He's got
happens both
Stockholm
ways,
syndrome.
but he's got some
Beauty
kind of
and the
syndrome.
Beast, but
I mean,
roles
he said
reversed.
stuff yesterday, like, what does she have over him? That could still
I
technically be
mean,
the case.
except for that was in the first quarter of the book. Now I'm learning more about this dude, and now I'm starting to wonder what the hell is wrong with this guy.
Well, I think
We got
you're
to find out.
theorizing as well. You're not just taking what's on the page.
Well, no, because that's not how life works.
We're
I
gonna
know.
go to the next one.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
24, right? Yeah. So they
Yes.
are
They're yelling.
going to Broadway. She puts on one of the white dresses that Nina gave her, so looking very much like Nina, and comes down. There's a whole thing. He's like, Jesus, Melly, you look amazing. Awkwardness and blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the whole freaking chapter is,
Yes.
you know,
I imagine him drooling.
over each other.
I officially have the answer to why she loves white so much is institution white.
She went to, when she was in a straitjacket, she's like, this is my love.
My
This is my color.
In white, too, guys. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of a off white.
Yeah, and then the only other thing, just because it comes up later to mention, is like Nina sits down and she's like, oh, I didn't realize how short this dress goes. Like she kept trying to pull the dress down. And she catches Andrew looking at her legs.
She's like, so what if he looks?
Yeah.
Looking isn't a crime.
Yeah. But you are still at least getting like this like internal monologue of Millie's, like she's not trying to look inappropriate. She's not trying to like seduce him more or less, but she's
True.
will.
She has a conscience. She doesn't want to sleep with a married man.
Yeah.
She's not actively seeking him out, but you know, if he halfway winked at her on accident, she'd definitely be there.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. My nose is like super itchy. I'm just like,
No, that's okay. I've been
No, mine's
sick.
been too.
The wind in here is blowing the hair all over my face and making my face itchy. Okay, chapter 25. Andrew takes Millie to the Broadway show. It's good to mention that Nina does text Millie, like, don't forget to take out the trash. And she's like, she texts me this every week. I've never forgotten. Blah, 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 blah. Little foreshadowing. there. So after the Broadway show, they go to dinner. They drink like 2 bottles of wine. He's like, "Oh no, I can't drive home. Let's just stay at
Oh,
the
man.
hotel." Yeah, and this is the part where then I was just like, okay, now it's starting to feel a little bit set up because like, okay, you drank 2 bottles of wine. You knew you weren't going to be able to drive home. Duh,
Yeah.
both of you. But also she's just like, "Oh no, what?" And then again, she's very persistent, like, "No, we can't stay in the same room." Like, "No." He's like, "I can't drive you home drunk." And so she's like, "Okay, if we get 2 separate rooms." One thing I missed, he does bring up like their sex life, like basically saying
Which
how
is
him
not
and Nina
cool.
haven't had sex, which is crazy. Which he said since we found out, which I think has only been a week, right? So
No,
Christy,
he did not just say that. Where is it?
like,
Okay, wait,
yeah,
we
I think
we
it's
do get a
only
little
been
bit
like
more
a
about
week.
Nina's background. So when they met, she was the single mom working 2 jobs, and he admired her. She had a hard life. Her strength was what drew
yeah.
me to her. And now she doesn't do anything except for complain. She doesn't have any interest in working. She spoils Cecilia. And the worst part is the sex part. So we got a little bit more background on Nina and like where she was
Yeah.
in her life and that's when he said,
And his, because he admits that right before Nina, he was engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little flighty much. Like,
and he just wanted to get married. Like he didn't seem like he cares about who he got married to.
yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to like have a family.
It hasn't been that long since they did it. Like 3 weeks,
No.
what? Poor guy.
No, he definitely says like since we found out, and it's only been 1 week.
2 at the max.
No, because she says this
I think it's
whole
been a week
week.
and a half.
No, she's
Yeah.
like, I spent. No, she does the timeline. She says, I spent the next week avoiding Andrew. And then it's,
And then it was the
there,
following Sunday is the thing.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
a
Not very
week
Week and a
long.
half.
and a half.
Not long.
Okay, crazy.
We're fine. Every couple goes through a dry spell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So that's the end of my section.
Yeah. Okay. My turn. I will say, I think I got the best section of this section. Like, I cackled in a couple of these chapters, not gonna lie. Okay. So they're leaving the restaurant and they catch a cab since he has decided that he can't drink. He's too drunk, which I think it mentions somewhere kind of like how they split those 2 bottles, and he had to have had at least a bottle and then some to himself.
Yeah.
With
Oops. Sorry, I definitely bled into your chapter.
Nah, it's fine. And yeah, so they decided they're going back to the hotel. She's, like you said, you know, okay, but we have to have separate rooms. She's very staunch on that point. And they, right before they get into the taxi, she's like, again, pulling down the hem of her dress. They get in and she's like, "You're looking at my legs." Yeah, which of course only makes him look even more and whatnot. Well, the cabbie is driving like a New York City cabbie, swings a corner, and she didn't have her seatbelt on. And now she's in his lap, essentially. And now all of a sudden they're making out.
He
That's
says the same thing she said before. There's no harm in looking. You have great
Yeah.
legs. There's no harm in looking. And this again, like we're
Yeah.
getting separate rooms.
yeah. Which anything before I fall into the next chapter?
He tells her she looks beautiful too.
How kind of him. But I started this chapter off with a Lord help us all.
Yeah.
Like I already knew. And it starts off with, needless to say, we didn't get 2 separate rooms at the plaza.
No shit.
And the second sentence is, so yes, I slept with my married boss.
No shit.
So, yep, they're waking up in the hotel room. And I mean, it's about as you would expect it would be. Semi
It was
weird,
really
but not too weird.
ballsy. Like real quick, it was really ballsy for them to just be like that because the people that they like the circles that Nina and
Yes,
Andrew were in,
Right.
those people do the same kinds of things.
I
Like
was
New
thinking
York,
that
yes,
the
is a
whole
very
time,
big
too.
city.
I thought they were gonna bump into somebody the whole time. I was
Me
like,
too.
all right,
I'm
who is
sure
it? Is it gonna
somebody
be
saw them.
Rachel or
Somebody had seen them.
yeah? Well, she's in in Nina's clothes, and like the French restaurant's probably Nina's freaking favorite or something. Yeah.
Sorry.
So no, you're good. Yep. So they do the, how are you doing? Are you okay? Nope. Yep, I'm good. And they're gonna shower, and not together, I will clarify. And as she's walking to get into the shower, he's like, "We can't do this again." She's like, "Oh, I know." But secretly, she wouldn't mind if it did happen, but she knows better.
Yeah.
And then he stops her and says, "I'm not sorry. I had a great time with you last night, and I'm not sorry for any part of it. And I hope you're not either. I just
You're gonna
distaste
be.
everything about all of this."
And he
I can't.
leads her, like, he feeds that. Like, I wish that I had met you back when. Like, he doesn't know
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Which we find out later. Yeah. And that's all there is in that chapter. Anybody want to throw in there 25 cents other than this guy is creepier by the day? Okay. So they have a pretty quiet drive back and probably somewhat awkward because of how quiet it is. But then she realizes, holy shit, the one time I didn't actually set out the trash. And anybody that has trash pickup, it usually comes either really early in the morning or really weirdly late in the afternoon. So I'm going with it probably comes super early in the morning for Nina to always be hounding her about it. And so Andrew is like, "Oh, let me fix this." His white knight syndrome of some kind that he tries to throw out to his wife and now his like side piece. But he sees Enzo, he stops and he's trying to convince Enzo to get the trash and take it to the dump. And Enzo's like playing dumb, like, "I don't know what you're saying," basically. And
He
Andrew
also,
offers
like,
him more money.
he gives Millie that same look when she first came
Mhm.
in, that, like, dark look, like, "You're going
Yeah.
down the wrong road, sister."
Mhm.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yep, you're good. Oh, she says, and of course, Enzo isn't my favorite person ever since he not so subtly rejected me. But that's not why it makes me so uncomfortable. I can't forget the way he hissed the Italian word for danger at me on my first day here. I
Andrew
mean,
accusing him of being, like, holding out for more money and being, like, manipulative.
but I think he's saying that more in a classist, elitist way than anything
Yes,
else.
exactly. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Like, he was stopped about it.
Yeah.
He
Let's
also
see.
mentions that he doesn't like Enzo because he's in their yard all the time. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Which their lawn apparently is always the nicest, is what she said at some point.
Yeah.
Is the biggest, but that's pretty much all that happens in that chapter. Enzo saves the day. Anybody
No.
else?
The day is not saved.
Well, so Nina comes home and she seems to be in like an excessively chipper mood. Which is kind of a sign. Every time she gets super chipper, I'm like, oh man, like something's about to like go off the rails. She makes Millie take her bags upstairs, which I have yet to meet like a maid or a housekeeper or whatever that like also carries the bags and then like a doorman or a chauffeur. Like that's not like a
It's not typically
I mean, I've
something you
never
have a
actually
tiny woman
had
doing.
right. Yeah. But as she starts to heft the bags, Nina says, "Maybe it's time to start going to the gym, Millie. You're getting a little soft." Honestly, I wasn't even mad at it. Like at this point, like I think it's funny. Like it's just so wild. And she just slept with the crazy lady's husband. So I'm kind of just like, well, you better suck it up now. Like before you were the victim. Now like you're
You
still
did
the
this.
victim, but like yeah. And Nina gets a little smarmy and she's like, "Hey, Millie, by the way, I called last night and you didn't answer the phone. How come nobody answered?" Because they're both supposed to be there.
Wow.
Millie's just like, "Yeah, I mean, it's not that late." But she's like, "Oh, I must have been asleep." Well, why didn't Andrew answer it? Where was he? I don't know. Maybe he was out. Yeah. To which nobody believes that Nina is believing that. Even in her cuckoo state, she's not an idiot. Like, I feel like she's probably normally an intelligent human. Whatever she's being drugged with or isn't being drugged with that she should be drugged with is like fogging her brain there every now and
They're on
then.
so they're on a family plan, family cell phone plan. She absolutely has them on Find My. She already knows
Right.
that they went into the city together. And she's just waiting to see
Right.
what kind of shit she can stir before she calls them on it. She knew the whole time.
Andrew would have to know
A crazy
if she
person
had,
does not have. Sorry, go ahead.
Andrew would have to know if she had his location like all this time. Like, that she's had something.
Yeah, but a
So,
crazy person doesn't
But if he
not
didn't
have
have the
their people's
intention,
location. The lag is
Right.
bad again.
no, but I mean, like, if he didn't have the intention to have the affair, like when they went, he wasn't thinking about having to lie or having to like come up with an alibi.
yeah.
So he might not have thought about it. He should be thinking about it now. But I mean, too little, too late. But I will say this is the chapter
She's
that
not going to leave him. He
No, no.
doesn't have to think about anything.
Right.
Okay. So that's I mean, she texts Andrew after she leaves the room and sneaks into their bathroom again to warn Andrew. Just to
Well,
warn
that
him.
was the biggest phone thing. Like,
Yeah.
the
Nina
text,
called the house last night.
like, that's for sure. If she's looking at anything, she's looking at your text messages, you stupid idiot.
She went through your bathroom to see the contact solution.
And her husband's phone. She should now have two sources that she could be snooping.
Very dumb.
Okay.
She put it in
I'm
right.
the least married in the whole wide world. And like, this is wild. Wild. Anyways, anybody have anything else to add before I hit the next two chapters?
No,
These
let's
are my
get
favorite two chapters so far. So essentially, everything's quieter because Cece is, off doing whatever rich kids do at some kind of summer camp. Although all I can think about is Jason in the hockey mask. Millie makes dinner and Andrew like kind of slips by her. And I'm pretty sure Nina's in the room or like nearby. And
She's in the
he's like-
house.
yeah. He's like, we need to talk later.
He first said, Millie.
Right.
And,
You're right. Oh, he did. It does say that. Oh, because she dropped something and now they're all like kneeling near each other and like near each other's faces. And then Nina pops in. She's like, oh no, you should clean up this mess and be more careful next time. Like, no shit, Sherlock, but thanks. But yeah, he leans in and murmurs in her ear, we should talk later. And then follows his wife out into the living room. It's just so ugh. But so Nina is complimenting Millie on how delicious the food looks and it smells amazing. As she's saying thank you, she's like, he goes, I'm sure you never got food like this in prison, did you, Millie?
mic drop.
Yeah.
Look, we all knew she had to have done a background check, but like
Mhm.
Millie never could figure that out. But as psycho as she is about this fake peanut butter thing and like whatnot, like, she doesn't want Enzo in the house. She did a background check. And like, yeah. So Andrew looks up and is like gawking at her. So apparently Nina kept that to herself, or he's an amazing actor, but I doubt it. And Nina's just really sticking it to her like, oh, well, what kind of food did they have there? And really trying to like just drive the steak in. And this was the first time I cackled because, I mean, she deserves every bit of it at this point. I can't lie. I found it quite hilarious. And so Millie decides that she's going to go upstairs. And before she can get too far, Nina's like, oh, Millie, you forgot the salt and pepper shakers. They're like 6 feet from her. So she has to walk all the way back, move the salt and pepper shakers. And she's like, thanks, but don't forget it again. Like,
Which
I
it
can't.
was like 6 feet away.
Yeah, like you could have leaned over. But so she gets up to her room and sits on her bed, feeling sorry for herself, when something on the nightstand catches her eye. And it is a copy of the playbill from Showdown. Like, and it says she picks it up confused. I don't know how she had half a second to be confused because it should have dawned on her instantly. This woman again went through my bathroom to see if I had contacts and not thinking she's gonna go through my stuff. Like, and I remember when she said she kept it.
She
I was
never
like,
makes
why?
that conclusion either. She just says,
Yeah.
one. Like, you stupid bitch.
It's so crazy. Well, then she said, she's like, I finally understand why Nina blurted out that had been in prison. She knows that I saw the show with Andrew. She knows we were in Manhattan together, all alone. Not sure if she knows we spent the night at the plaza, but she knows we weren't home at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm sure if she's smart enough, she could find out whether or not we checked into the hotel. Nina knows everything. I have just made a very dangerous enemy.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
My sticky note says, well, karma and all that, you know. Yeah. Anybody else before we get to my absolute favorite chapter thus far?
I
No.
would just say, like, I feel like Andrew's gonna be like, not a chance. He's probably gonna join in the torture now.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know if I missed it in the last one. No, maybe it's this chapter then. But it does say that, like, needless to say, Andrew did not come and speak to her later
Yeah.
after that whole incident. But so apparently Nina has decided to take her crazy up an extra step lately. And every time that Millie goes to the grocery store, if they don't have something specifically brand and everything wise, she has to text her with photos and a list of all the other options. And she has to stand there and wait until Nina decides to respond back to her.
Both sides of
It
things.
is.
Mhm.
It is, but like, this is the kind of petty that, like, technically it's not harming anyone.
She's so desperate that she did not quit this job as soon as she realized her boss knows she slept with her husband.
Yeah.
She's that desperate. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, I think
Bye.
she's still like, maybe she doesn't know we slept together, but still, all of these things, it's like, just leave.
Yeah.
The signs are pointing to leave.
Yeah. And so she wanted a particular kind of bread, which they didn't have. So she makes her go through a whole list of the different types of brioche. And then, oh, well, did they have any French bread instead? Like, and she's just going there down this stupid aisle, basically taking pictures and giving her a list of every single different kind of bread in this grocery store. And she notices this. I pictured him kind of like a Santa looking dude, an older gray haired guy, like not necessarily following her, but kind of following her. Like every time she looks up, the guy's like there. And so it's a little suspect, but like she's not worried that her boss knows that she slept with the husband. So I doubt she really is thinking this guy is following me, anyways. But so she checks out, and as she's leaving the store, the guy comes up to her and is like, hey, you got to come with me. And she's like, what? This has to be a mistake. He's like, how did he say it? A customer alerted me that you were stealing items from the supermarket. Mind you, for anyone that forgot, she's on parole.
Yeah.
That's an easy
So-
way to take care of her.
Yeah. So, of course, now she's like, oh, God. And she's like, I would never do that. And he's like, yeah, well, I have to investigate it. So, can I see your receipt? And he's like, and just a warning, we prosecute all shoplifters. So, there's that. And so she's going through the OMGs in her head as he's going through the receipts. And she says, I don't want to go back to jail. I don't. I can't. I'd rather kill myself. Dun dun dun. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And so he goes through everything and he's like, well, everything seems to match up. I'm sorry to bother you like that, Miss Calloway, but we have a lot of problems with shoplifters, so I have to take it seriously. And I got a phone call alerting me that a customer matching your description might be planning to take something. Yeah.
The fact that she even had the thought of who would do such a thing is insane to me. Like, duh. Who kept you there so that you would look suspicious? Come on.
Yeah. I love that the very last two sentences, but I have a terrible feeling this isn't the end of it. Nina has more in store for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree with that. Like now you're starting to finally really like catch on and realize
This is just
like-
the beginning.
Nina has no F's to give. She's on antipsychotics or is supposed to be, one or the other. I don't know. You shouldn't be surprised.
No. And before the whole checking out, getting pulled to the side, she's like, I'm in love with Andrew. I think about him all the time. It's painful to be in the house with him. He deserves better. I could give him a baby. I could make him happy. And it's like, girl, you're gone.
Remember
the
that?
deep
I
end,
must have
not
breezed
recovering.
right past that crazy because I do not remember that. Ladies, anybody that is thinking about you could give your married boss a better life than with his wife. Don't do it. Not true.
Crazy. But I do feel like there are so many possibilities to like how this can go. And the more
I
we were
honestly have no idea.
talking about like if it's Andrew, so Cece's the issue for me, like connecting all the dots, because you could easily say, okay, Andrew found a girl, hard up for money, desperate, gives her everything, and then does, whatever crazy torture he wants to do, demeans her, whatever. And then maybe he likes this all white. And then her mind morphs, and now she has gone out looking for the next one that's a little bit younger, because Millie's mentioning how she was so young and pretty and all these things.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like that at all anymore. They mentioned she naturally has dark hair and she's like bleaching her hair a bunch, and
she's not
it is
keeping up with it now. She's a frazzled mess with terrible roots.
and just the difference in who she is. Like, she was driven, she had 2 jobs. Now she's just like crazy insane.
He mentioned she was strong, and like that was what drew him to
Yeah.
her. So it does indicate
Yeah.
like the mental illness must not have been as strong looking back then.
No. So
Did
I
you
don't know.
guys ever see that mini series? I can't remember if it was on Netflix or Hulu, but it's called Sirens with
No.
Julianne Moore.
Watched it yet, but I do want to watch it. Sirens,
it.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes, and you got to watch it. It reminds me of this, but like it's not the exact same, right? But there are some similarities in here where I'm just like laughing the whole time in the show. It's really good.
Well, any other theories about the book?
No, I
Wanna
just
talk
think she's
about
insane but she hasn't left yet. Like everybody is just insane. That's
Well,
all.
and it's hard, like, because the prologue was so nondescript of like what to even think could be on the horizon. Like, it
It's
could
not a male
literally
body.
be
It's not a
anything.
female body. It's just a body.
Yeah, and it's just like, what could
I
it
definitely
be?
want to get through the rest of it. I need to know what happens. And that's like, it's been torture to go through this book slowly.
so slow. I
It's
just read it.
suspenseful and it's an easy read. You what?
That's why I waited so long to start until we actually were going to record.
Because I'm like, I just need to finish it. I could do it easily. And then I don't have to feel like I'm dragging it out.
So in the next section, how far are we going in the next?
Let's wrap up. So, anything else to add for this episode?
I don't think so. I think that
No, I
we're
got
going to get to some
nothing.
really crazy shit.
And I'm honestly excited to see what kind of petty antics Nina has come up with. I mean, obviously somebody goes off the rails, but I'm not gonna lie, that was really entertaining for me, those last 2 chapters.
You're like a little crazy in your mind.
Join us next episode to see what's coming in this next part 3. And hopefully we get a lot more answers. I feel like we have lots of questions and no answers yet, besides that she's clinically insane, possibly.
And
All right.
nobody is without guilt in this book, officially.
All right, bye.
Love you, sisters.